Hey there, it's Kristen. And before we dive into today's episode, I have a tiny favor to ask. I'm planning some exciting stuff this year for the podcast and my courses, and I would really love your input. I put together a super quick survey. It's mostly multiple choice and shouldn't take you more than a few minutes. Your feedback will directly shape the content I create this year, so I can make sure it's exactly what you need to thrive in your business without the hustle. Because I know your time is precious, everyone who completes the survey gets entered into a giveaway where 2 lucky winners will get a $50 gift card to Amazon or Target, your choice. It's just a little thank you for helping me make this year on the show the best yet. Head over to kristendoyle.co/survey, or you can find the link in the show notes. The giveaway ends on April 14th, so don't wait too long. Hey there, I am so excited to have my friend Amanda Kuchlenz on the show today. Amanda is a marketing strategist at Momentum Up Marketing, and she primarily focuses on helping small businesses grow through Facebook ads. If you have ever felt like Facebook ads are too hard or too expensive for you, then you will love this episode. Amanda has a knack for making Facebook ads feel easy and doable no matter your experience or budget. In this episode, we are talking about why TPT sellers should be running ads to our stores, the unique advantage that we have as TPT sellers, and I will give you a hint, it has to do with spending less money on our ads. Amanda also shares some first steps that you should take if you're brand new to Facebook ads, as well as some more advanced tips and ideas for those of us who've been running ads for a while. There's really something for everyone in this episode, and I am so excited for you to get to listen to our conversation. So let's get to the show. Hey TPT sellers, ready to see growth in your business? You're in the right place. Welcome to the Savvy Teacher Seller. I'm Kristen Doyle, and I'm here to give you no fluff tools and strategies that will really make an impact on your sales. Let's get started, y'all. Hi, Amanda. Thank you so much for being here today. Can you tell us just a little bit more about yourself and how you got into Facebook ads?
Okay. Well, thanks for having me, Kristen. I'm so excited to be here. This is going to be tons of fun. My name is Amanda Kuchlenz. I am owner of Momentum Up Marketing, and I am a social media agency that specializes in Facebook, Instagram ads, as well as organic strategy. But I actually really love Facebook ads. And let me tell you why, because you can just skyrocket and do so much better, so much more, and so much faster progress in your business. So I got into this, I'd say like 6 or 7 years ago. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had worked corporate for a long time. I was a stay-at-home mom for a few years, and my mind was going insane. I just missed doing things, and like working my brain. And so I started as just a VA doing social media, and I have a marketing background, so focused on that. And then roads just led to Facebook ads, and they are just a ton of fun. So they can be complicated, but the feedback I've gotten from people that I have helped with ads is that I make things simple and like am able to teach and explain them well. So
you do, absolutely. You have helped me so much.
Right? My style is like just to take away that high-tech part of it, because there's definitely a really high-tech part, but I just think that it can be so accessible for the smaller business owner, and especially for people who are running ads for TPT, which we were going to talk about. So anyway, I just want to get across that they don't have to be complicated if you do things the right way, and I'm going to show you how.
And I definitely want to talk about some things that you have taught me to do for some lower cost ads for people that are just getting started. We'll get to that here in a little bit for sure. Let's just kind of start out with the big question. Why should TPT sellers be running ads to our stores?
So I kind of alluded to that in my talking about myself, is things move faster when you're actually putting money behind your marketing. So like, I feel like we kind of live in this world of, people saying you don't have to pay for ads. You don't have to do this. Sure, you don't have to do ads in order to really grow or make more sales. That is true. But here's the thing, that's true if you have a ton of time. And sometimes you just need to get the ball rolling, right? So like, it is a pay to play type of a thing. And here's the thing with TPT, it is like Facebook used to be years ago where you put $1 in and you get $1 back. It may not be as $1 in, $1 out, but I will say in this niche, ads are very productive. That's what I've seen. Teachers are really interested in clicking on ads that are going to help their teacher experience be better. So that is why TPT products are great for this.
Yes. And I know I am the champion for growing your business with passive income strategies and not relying on social media. But I will say my exception to that is running ads because I know that I can put $1 in and I might get $1.50 back out
Right.
or $2 back out or whatever. And I know you and I have a mutual friend who calls it going to the traffic store. It's like going to the traffic store to get some more traffic to those products that we've been working so hard on. So I 100% believe in using ads to grow our businesses. I can't wait to talk to you some more about them. I know, at least for my own ads, people in my community who are not in the TPT niche are always shocked at how low ad cost is compared to what they're paying in other areas, in other markets.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a number that we use in ads. It's called CPM, or cost per mil. And basically what that means is how much it costs you to get in front of 1,000 people. And those benchmark, like for most all businesses, start somewhere around $25. Well, it's like $5. These are the numbers I've seen. So it costs you $5 to get your ad in front of 1,000 people, whereas it costs $25 to get other people there, sometimes even up to $100 just for 1,000 people to see your ads. So that's the great part about TPT and ads for TPT products.
Yeah, it can be so productive. Now, I know that there are multiple types of Facebook ads. Let's talk about what kind works the best for us as TPT sellers, because we have a little bit of a limitation because of the way that the Facebook pixel works and the way that the TPT site is set up. We're kind of limited there. So let's talk about that a little bit.
So TPT sellers should be using traffic campaigns. And basically that just means sending traffic to your store. So one thing that needs to happen is also need to make sure that your pixel is on your TPT site or installed in your store or in your shop, and also on your website. So the reason why is because the pixel is just this little code that it's on your website, it's on your TPT site as well. So it will kind of like ding Facebook and say someone came here to this pixel code, which is attached to you. So running traffic ads, it is the best way to do that. And then even underneath the traffic ads, the targeting, it's kind of like a hierarchy. You have a campaign, and then you can run ads that target different audiences. So here's exactly what you need to do. If you have ever run an ad before in the ads manager, we're not talking about boosting, and I know we're going to talk about that later. But in your ads manager account, you can literally target teachers pay teachers. And you can just run an ad to anyone that is interested in teachers pay teachers, the business.
And there are hundreds of thousands of those people.
There
because
are.
I run ads to target TPT.
Yeah. And literally that's all you need. I know that there's a lot of sellers like you, Kristen, who focus really by certain grades and or levels in school, and that can make things a little more complicated, but you can also just target teachers pay teachers and filter out people by making sure that you're clear in your ad who this is for. So, and I know we're going to get to that as far as some ads tips, but
targeting just TPT can still be a great way to get your resources out in front of people, even if it's not the exact perfect audience, because the longer it runs, the more the algorithm figures out which TPT followers might be interested in your particular product. And I love it for more generic products as well. The things I have that aren't grade level specific, that really could be used for a big range of people.
Right. And then, even when you're doing ads to something that is more general, once someone has clicked on your ad and moved into and bought something from you, you can retarget. It's like another one of those words that we use in ads, but they kind of get bumped into a warm audience per se. And that is another type of traffic ad you can run for targeting, which would be warm. And so you can also be sending out maybe your specific ads for fourth grade, for example. You could be sending that out to people who have, so you're kind of layering through and getting more specific on who you can target with your ads.
Yeah. And the longer you run ads, the better that targeting gets, in my experience, right?
Oh, most definitely. Oh, yeah.
So warm audiences then are people who have maybe clicked on one of our ads in the past. They've interacted with our Facebook posts or our Instagram posts, or they've been to our website or our TPT store. Is that right? Did I leave any out?
Yes, that's correct. Or your website as well. Like if you have a website going at the same time, if you have an email list, you can also upload your email list into Facebook. That would also be considered a warm audience. You can even have Facebook create what's called a lookalike audience, which is technically a cold audience based off of people that are on your email list. So your email list likely is a bunch of teachers, right? So you can create an audience and have Facebook use all their algorithms and data that they've collected on all of us to expand in another way of finding more teachers to see your ads.
Yes, love that. So let's talk about some of your tips that you have for us for running ads. I know a lot of people who are listening today maybe are intimidated by ads. They maybe haven't tried them yet for a variety of reasons. What tips would you have for those people?
Okay. So for the beginners who have not run ads in the past, first things first is you do need to set up a business manager account and you set up an ad account as well. There's a difference between boosting, which is where you maybe make a post organically and then Facebook or Instagram prompts you, do you want to boost this post or promote this? There's a bit of a difference there. You cannot do targeting like you can do, like we were just talking about. You can't do that as well with the boosting. So first things first is to get your account set up. And if you ever need help with that, I do have a Facebook group and we'll talk about it at the end, but where I do go step by step on how to set that up. You could also Google it. I do it a lot. Facebook will come up as the first response and you can click on their instructions on how to set up the account. So that's the first thing I would recommend. And I would also recommend not allowing yourself to get, this sounds kind of silly, but I experience this all the time when I'm coaching people on their ads, is not to get overwhelmed by all the little pieces. Like you can, like I said, Google pretty much anything with how to set up ads. And so it may seem overwhelming, but just try to have a mindset of one step at a time and progress forward on that. And then the other thing that I would recommend for beginners would be to really think about building your email list. And I think we'll talk about that as well here soon, but just really thinking of your marketing outside of ads. You can use ads to build your email list and grow from there.
Yeah, let's talk about that now, actually. What would you suggest for people who are trying to grow their email list as far as ads are concerned?
So there's a couple things you can do. One that I am seeing really great results with is if you have some sort of free resource, maybe even if you have a free download on your TPT page, that I've seen this before where you maybe want to show an example of your work before, right?
We do lots of freebies.
Yeah. So you could take a freebie that you already have and you can run a lead form ad to that. And I'm finding really low cost to that. And you can run an ad to that and gather a name and email address and pop it right into your CRM where you send out emails and your freebie and follow through and nurture your lead. So I've seen definitely under $2 a lead, which is really good in Facebook, lead land.
Yes, it's really good.
I even have had clients get them under $1 a lead. So I just, ultimately it is very important to build your email list. So you're accomplishing two things by doing this, though. Number one, you're accomplishing getting more exposure and getting your products out there and your face out there to sell more. So you're getting more reach and impressions, and people are learning who you are. And then number two, you're getting their email address, which is worth a lot these days if you are very consistent with your email marketing.
Yeah. And if you send them a really good freebie, that can go a long way to start building trust with those people who maybe haven't bought from you before, because they can see a sample of, maybe something small you've created or a sample of a bigger product, something that can help them to decide that your products are going to work for their students, that they are high quality and that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so important for us to build our email lists because it really is the only thing we can own. Our social media followings, algorithms change constantly. People may or may not see our posts. Our TPT store, we don't get any information on who our buyers are, so we don't own those customers either. But the people who are on our email list are the ones that we own those email addresses. We can email them anytime, and we really can grow our businesses through sending those emails out and directing them over to our product.
And and not to mention like repeat customers, right? Wouldn't you want a repeat customer? A repeat customer costs you nothing, basically.
Right.
Once they're kind of in your funnel, once they've seen who you are and asked for the free resource and maybe bought a couple things here and there, but maybe you introduce a new product and they buy from you again. And you don't have to pay for that in an ad. Like that would be free. So it kind of just like, what's the word? Like it just all rolls into each other. You kind of get this
snowball.
Yes, snowballs.
I love that. You mentioned a lead page ad. Can you tell us how that is a little bit different? I've heard you talking about them recently, but I've never run one. So tell us how that's a little bit different from some of the other ads we might have run.
You bet. So we did talk in the beginning here about traffic ads being the type of ads you should run to your TPT store. But lead ads are a bit different. And those are the kind of ad where you will probably start to see some more and more of these on your personal feed, where you see an ad and you're interested and you click the button and a form pops up on Facebook or Instagram, and your name and email address may already be there. And all you have to do is click, this is like the user experience. And all you have to do is click, yes, I want it. And then the ad says, thank you, check your email inbox. And all of a sudden you'll be in their email inbox. So does that make sense?
Yeah. It sounds like it just streamlines the process. So instead of running an ad that sends them to my website where I have a landing page with the freebie, I've already gotten their attention. They're already interested and they tap the button and it's basically there.
Exactly. It skips the landing page. Plus, you don't necessarily have to, then you don't need to create a landing page if you haven't already. It kind of just skips that part and sends them right into your email CRM, whatever you use.
So I can see that being a really good strategy then for maybe some TPT sellers who don't have a website yet, but they're trying to build an email list. And I know there are a lot of those out there because I see questions about how to grow your list when you don't have a website yet.
That would be a great way, especially if you don't have a website. Yes.
And how much are we talking about spending for something like that, for a lead page ad?
You can do this very inexpensively and as little as, I'd say, $5 a day. So, wow. I mean, I know it's super cheap. And like I was saying before, a lot of times the goal is to get a lead somewhere under $2. Like you could be, for $5 a day, you could be having 2 leads coming into your email list every day. And that just compounds and compounds.
Yeah. And I can't remember off the top of my head now what the number is, but I have heard what the average lifetime user value is for someone who's on your email list. It is way more than $5.
Yeah, exactly.
In the hundreds of dollars easily.
Exactly. Especially if you're creating new products to sell. And I think there's a statistic out there that says something like 40% of people purchase from email, or there's some sort of number along those lines. Just say, sales from email is at 40% is kind of a solid benchmark for that.
Great. So that's something maybe we should all be doing. I know I haven't been running any lead ads lately, so I should probably be doing that too.
You should, Kristen. Let's get on it.
I know. What about those of us who maybe we've been running ads for a while? We kind of understand the setup. We've gotten our feet wet. Do you have some maybe more advanced strategies or tips that we could apply?
Well, first, I would have you be doing another campaign just like we talked about. I would for sure recommend that. Well, let me ask you a quick question. So how many people do you come across that have some sort of product that they're also selling, like a membership or a course? Are there a lot of TPT sellers?
Lots of us.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So for the advanced people, I would recommend, again, this is also something fairly inexpensive, running retargeting ads that they can be traffic ads, but they could more likely be a conversion ad. But for anybody that's clicked on, your ads before visited your store, retargeting them with your other offers. And again, that's something you can add in very inexpensively.
Yeah. So taking all of those people who have bought maybe lower price things from us on TPT and retargeting, sending them ads to probably our higher priced offers, which would be courses, memberships, things like that.
Exactly.
And I can see that also working really well, even to send them to big bundles of curriculum that we might be selling.
Yeah, very true. And I'm sure if there are big bundles that are time sensitive, maybe classroom setups, that kind of thing that people would be going for at the beginning of the year, you can create a separate campaign just to retarget for that bundle. So definitely something you could do. I would also recommend if you have a pretty good organic game going, you're consistently posting, and this is another way kind of on the back end, how to just keep building that know, like, trust is you can run a reach campaign for anyone that has interacted with you. And your ads, you can get maybe, I would recommend like 3 evergreen type of ads, maybe who you are or a little bit about your shop or your store and the type of templates that you offer. And then maybe 3 ads like that. And you can run a reach ad to go out and drip out to people who have visited you as well. And a lot of times there's no call to action, but they're just kind of like these ads that will pop up in someone's news feed that they've already interacted with you somehow, but they pop up and they just really increase that know, like, trust even more.
Yeah, I can see that being a really good way to repurpose some of our content that we are creating, whether it's a blog post you've written and you could record a quick video kind of going through that same content, or maybe even just repurpose if you're already recording a podcast or Facebook Lives or YouTube videos or anything like that. Can see maybe repurposing some of those videos to put out some really good educational content for teachers as well. Because I know that's one of the big ways that we build, like you said, that know, like, and trust factor is to be able to teach them something that helps them become a better teacher. So if we've got that content somewhere else and could repurpose it.
Yeah. And, it may sound like overwhelming and a lot of work, but once this is set up, you can literally just let it go. Like if you have, and I mentioned evergreen, like evergreen type of posts, like if it's something that's not time sensitive, like for example, you've got like an event coming up and you've got a date on the post, like I wouldn't do that. Like pick something that's more like a blog post, like you said, that's educational, it's evergreen. So my point is that you don't have to like constantly be doing these new ads. You can just pick 3 and run those ads. Like it just runs for you. It's great.
I know the ads that I have running right now have been going for a while, and they really are on autopilot at this point. Mm-hmm. I check in about once a week and make sure it doesn't look like it's tanked or we don't need to adjust anything. But for the most part, it's kind of on autopilot. And if it ever, starts not converting as well as it did, or I see that my cost is going up or something, then we can always adjust or even turn it off and try something different. But they really can run sometimes just in the background of your business for months without having to do a whole lot of work on updating them and tweaking and changing content and things, especially after the first, week or two, once it kind of settles.
And don't we all have enough things to do? What can we, I mean, come on, what can be automated? Let's figure out what those things are so that we can work on the big things.
Yeah. And as long as, you're choosing the right resources. I don't know what you've seen in the clients that you are working with, but I know for me, it typically does not make sense for me to run a Facebook ad to a TPT product that's $5 because I usually don't get enough purchases to offset how much I'm spending to get people there. But if I run ads to a product that's, $15, $20 or more, then I usually get plenty of return on the investment that I'm making.
Definitely. I've run ads, low cost ads for sure, and higher, $100 plus bundles. And the bundles seem to work better when they're at certain times of year. Like those are the kinds of things where you kind of start to see how things are working. And if they're not, maybe it is a time of year thing and you can just turn on and turn off. Yeah. I do always recommend for sure having some sort of reporting happening, just keeping track of some of the basics, and you can do this just weekly, and you can use your ads manager account to just change the date range and get these stats. But, keeping an eye on click-through rates and then documenting that and documenting just where you're at, maybe just taking a quick audit of everything, making sure that if it looks drastically different from week to week, then it's time to make adjustments. So
it can be really helpful. I know when I'm running really short campaigns, I am good about documenting like every single day because this is only going to be running for 2 or 3 weeks. And you really can start to see patterns. And for example, an ad I have running right now, my ad cost is starting to creep up a little. And so I'm keeping a close eye on it to see if I need to make some adjustments or maybe turn off one of the audiences or something like that. But when you're taking that data on a regular basis, it's easy to see those numbers kind of shifting in patterns. Obviously, we are not. No one is taking daily data, I don't think, on long range ad campaigns. But would you suggest like once a week?
Yes, once a week. And you can do it in just a simple Google Doc with a table, just so that you have one line per week, and you will start to see changes or not. Like you kind of don't want, like you want to just get, like you said, things take a couple weeks to settle in. So, that's just the best way to do it. And you don't have to be complicated. It can be very simple. Just looking at click-through rates and how those are. Yeah. And it'll also tell you if your ads are fatiguing a little bit, like if you do need to maybe bring in some new creatives.
I've had that happen for sure, where an ad has just been running for so long that I think maybe too many people have seen it and they are just tired. And then, we need to start maybe the same audience, maybe even the same product, but we need to just freshen up the copy, change out the image or video, freshen up the ad a little bit so it doesn't look like something that people have seen forever and it's stale.
Yeah, right. And there's so many different ways different kinds of ads that you can create. You've got just the regular standard news feed ad. You can do a video, maybe a video walkthrough of your product. You can do carousel, you can take what you've already created in your TPT store and you can upload several images and make it a carousel.
Yeah, that's a good point too, especially as we're taking photos of our products to update our product listings anyway. So that gives us some built-in photos that we can go ahead and turn around and turn into some Facebook ads. So as we're getting ready to wrap up, what would you suggest as an action step for everybody who's listening to kind of walk away from this episode with?
I think that as an action step, I would like to see everyone feel a little more confident for the beginners in thinking about starting ads running to their TPT store. I have a few ways that I could help you do that. I have a free Facebook group that I mentioned before that you can join. I have some setup tutorials in there if you've never set it up. I even have a walkthrough of a conversion campaign, which is a little bit different, but it's then what we had talked about doing traffic, and I'm doing trainings in there all the time. I do have trainings for the $5 a day lead form ads that are happening often, and keep up to date with all of that in my ads chat with Amanda group.
Awesome. And we will put the link for that in the show notes for sure. I will say, if you are just getting started setting things up on Facebook ads, it can feel very overwhelming, but I'm going to toot your horn for you a little bit, Amanda. Amanda is so good at simplifying the process and making it easy to follow and easy to understand without getting overwhelmed. So Amanda is your girl for that. Head to her Facebook group for sure and check out some of all of the free resources and the trainings and stuff that she has in there.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristen. That's so nice.
Well, can you tell everybody where we can find you? And we'll put all of the direct links in the show notes as well.
So, like I mentioned, my Facebook group it's called Ads Chat with Amanda, and you could just search in Facebook, and if you go under groups, type in Ads Chat with Amanda. It'll be there. Under groups, you can also find me on Instagram, where I also do lives and educational information as well. And my Instagram handle is momentum.up.marketing, and you can find me there. And of course, my website is momentumupmarketing.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Amanda, so much for being here today. I definitely walked away with some ideas for some things I need to start in my own business. I'm sure everybody else did too.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I'm just so thrilled that you wanted to talk about this. So I'm so excited. I'm excited for all of you and your students.
Thank you so much for listening today. Don't forget to check out the show notes where you can connect with Amanda and join her Facebook group for lots of free tutorials and tips on getting your Facebook ads up and running, as well as some new ideas for what kind of ads you could run. You can find all of the links in the show notes at kristendoyle.co/episode 19. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please share it with another teacher seller who would also find it helpful. For more resources on growing your TPT business, head to kristendoyle.co/TPT. Talk to you soon.